Okay, so in this video, I'm going to discuss if the CBI passports, the countries that sell citizenship by investments, if those passports have completely become trash or they're going to become trash in the near future. And also a second very important topic, the countries where you could be subject to investigations, could land you into trouble, right? So I'm going to get to both the topics in detail. There's some breaking news that have just come out of the UK. The UK Security Minister has made some recent startling announcements. So I'm going to discuss all of that. But before I get started, if you're new to my channel, my name is Jay, and here we discuss investments that lead to Plan B residencies, citizenships, and a whole lot more. So make sure you are subscribed to my channel, so the moment there's any breaking news regarding any of the CBI programs, you're the first one to get it, and you don't miss out on that. All right. So a lot of countries, right, sell CBI passports. There are 13 or 11 countries, should correct that, 11 countries that actively sell their passports either through direct donation or through real estate purchase. Some of these are pure access documents, meaning they are paper passes, as I would call it. Nothing wrong, but it's a passport. So with all due respect, a lot of people buy these type of, there are at least 5 such passports where people use this for as a potential loophole, meaning they buy this so that they can get more access. They originally come from third world countries or countries with very poor passport access. So convenient way for wealthy people is to shell out some cash, do some donation, which they refer to as investment, and then buy these access passes, which then helps them bypass or circumvent the visa rules, which is a restriction on them on their original nationalities. But now because they have one of these passports, they can very conveniently sneak into countries which they didn't have access before. And 5 such countries sell these passes. Of course, you can stay in those countries. You can set up a life there, etc. But a lot of people don't like living in very tiny countries. They simply purchase this for the access, and they keep talking about it, they boast about it, etc. There are at least 5 to 6 countries which are real Plan Bs. They're actual places where you can feel safe, potentially live there, have a good life. The real known countries where which has a large population, so they also sell their passports. We'll get on to all of that. We have several videos that covers all of this material. Now, in case you wanted to get a full list of these countries ranked in the order of the least to the highest with full analysis, you can return and hop on to this link. This talks about this in more detail. Well, the latest breaking is from the UK, United Kingdom, regarding the security concern raised by the security minister, Tom Tugendhat. So he has assured that he's going to crack down on some of these options. And this is primarily going to be targeting the golden visa schemes from the Caribbean, Pacific, and Central America, which offers either golden visas or these pay for passport scheme options where you can circumvent the rules and you can travel to the UK. Now, UK is one of the top tier countries where visa-free access is a big deal, right? A lot of these CBI passports offer UK access, at least in theory. Now at the border, the situation is a lot different. You go through a set of questioning, all of that, and if you're lucky, then obviously you get to enter the country. But theoretically, the access always existed. That's how it was. So according to his new directive, he's going to personally review the visa situation. Now, what can happen, right? I think the worst case scenario is that they might review the visa access. They might make this a ban for the CBI people. Let's say, someone purchased one of these passports. They're not a real citizen of the country. So one of the measures could potentially be that the UK might suspend the CBI access, the visa waiver access to the UK. If you are a pay for a passport candidate, if you're a real citizen, maybe they might leave it. But if you're from one of these countries, they might take it away. Now, recently you had the US crack down with the E2. A lot of these passports marketed the E2 loophole. The US patched it up, so they have lost this access. The E2 access is taken away. Similarly, the Schengen access has been taken away from the Vanuatu passport, recently suspended for the year, and they might review it next year, but for now, they have terminated that access. The European Commission has also suspended with immediate effect a lot of the golden visas. The Portugal golden visa is finished. The Ireland golden visa is finished. The Spain real estate option, that was the real element of that golden visa, the real important element of that golden visa, that's going to be suspended as well. So if you have missed out on that video, you can return and check it here using this link. This talks about the entire golden visa suspension within the EU in a lot more detail. But now getting back to this topic, the visa waiver access seems to be, it's going to be reviewed very tightly, very closely. What happens to all those people who have invested their money in purchasing these passports? Well, even if you lose this access in eventually, I think the citizenship itself does have some value. It's not a complete trash, right? And trash meaning we're talking about access being trash. The passport should be respected. It's a country, it's a nation. And again, not referencing any particular nation, whichever nation it is. The passport is not trash. The access would remain trash on the passport. So yes, you might not be able to use this for travel, let's say using the E2 or to the UK or to the Schengen in some certain cases. But at the end of the day, you still have a real passport. It's not a fun document. It's still theoretically a passport. You can keep this, you can obviously have multiple nationalities from the numbers perspective. Now, if you're obviously going to the Caribbean or you're going to any other country where you can use this, again, it could be useful because then you can use this document to actually go there as a citizen and you can use it that way. But when it comes to all the Western access, seems to be a heavy crackdown on that front now coming out of the UK. So the EC, which is the European Commission, is doing their crackdown. The US has already cracked down on any E2 access. They never provided any visa waiver access to any of the CBI passports. So that's just one aspect of it, right? Canceling the visa waiver access is just one thing. The second thing they are looking forward to is pushing, and this is very startling statement. It says that measures that could be taken from ending visa waivers to diplomatic pressure to tighten checks on potential investors. Now, this happened in Cyprus. They obviously handed over 200 passports and then they terminated 200 passports. Now, when they terminate these passports, obviously it's not a plain and simple termination without any reason. Obviously, there's scrutiny, there is investigations in certain cases, depending upon exact reason. There could be jail term, etc. So that's the other piece of this. So the access might be terminated and you might still get to keep that document. Again, it's not a fun document. It's still a real document. So it's not that you've completely lost all your money. Maybe you've lost 90% of the money, but for whatever it's worth, you still have that document. You would rather have that document, which will have certain access, which may not get revoked. The real threat is the Western access, which you may have purchased this for. Regarding the tightened checks on potential investors, now a lot of these CBI passports claim supreme due diligence. So they collect a lot of information from you. They collect all the possible information that they get from you. And then as part of these checks, it can be used to obviously facilitate that investigation. I personally feel that no matter how much investigation people are subject to, if they haven't done anything wrong and if their funds are clear and if they have not really used illicit means to obtain the funds to invest in these passports, they should be okay. They should be able to keep their passports and obviously not face any jail term or any drastic consequences. But again, if there are issues, then you have all this information, and which is then now subject to more scrutiny, investigations, surveillance, monitoring, and all of that kind of stuff. So that is something that you should be aware of. Now, what is the conclusion, right? My whole assessment on this topic. Well, the countries that sell pure access, their future seems to be bleak from what's happening around the world. There are a lot of countries, as I said in the beginning, the 5 to 6 countries that don't have strong access. They're purely places where you can get security, you can get safety. It's a plan B option. And because there is no such fancy Western access to begin with, anyways, that's not the reason why people get those 5 to 6 citizenships. So for them, there's no threat. Obviously, they're bigger countries, larger countries, so the chances are it's tough to even know if you have purchased these passports or if they're natural passports through either descent, ancestry, or by birth. So again, I feel those passports will continue to function unaffected. And some of the notable examples, I believe, are passports like Jordan, Turkey, Egypt, Cambodia. So these are some examples of passports. I was going to say Montenegro, but that program has ended as well, or is about to end as well. So those are the ones that are unaffected. A lot of the ones which purely are heavily marketed based on access, the ones unfortunately will lose at the end of the day. Now, if you were thinking, it's a very secure way, renounce your home country nationality, get one of these, access documents, and then you're set for life. Unfortunately, the reality is far from that. If you have renounced already, I think it's a troubling situation, because in that situation, you don't want to lose that whatever passport you have left with. And the only one thing that can be done, because obviously you can never now reclaim back what you have lost. It's almost impossible, or very difficult, I should say. It's always good to look for other opportunities, other real citizenships that can save your back in future. For the ones who are looking to invest, again, it's a tough call. The future looks bleak. Overall, the future looks very bleak for anything paid outright. The future is very green for options which are more natural, which are more flexible, which are more authentic, genuine, long-lasting, long-term, etc. If you are in any of the situation, or if you are looking to set up your future access or future plan Bs, always make sure to focus on authentic plan Bs. You can always click the link in the description, book a call with us. We can discuss where you are at in your pathway to your plan B, and we can obviously recommend our options, or we can suggest what's the best option in your particular circumstances. None of this stuff in this video is immigration, legal, or tax advice. This is educational content and my personal opinion. I hope you liked this video. Make sure, check your subscription, make sure you're subscribed, and give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and catch you in the next one.